ready to go.
Okay. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. And for new people out there, don't forget to subscribe. We appreciate it, and it's free. So today, next on the list is this little Stihl 55R. Yes, 55RC weed eater. I don't know what's wrong with it, and I picked it up at an estate sale, so it could have just anything wrong with it. But it's got good compression. Now, the pull cord is a little bit on the lame side, and she doesn't want to start, so let's get to it. Now, I've already fooled with this thing a little bit, and even putting starter fluid in it, she didn't even want to try. So let's get the gas out of it and try that again, because there is a chance that she's flooding. Whoops. This one's going to be a bear. I can see that now. I know a lot of people love these Stihls to death, but I'm not a super big fan for the home user. Now, that's not a good sign. It's yellow, and it doesn't look like regular. It looks like regular gas. It doesn't look like premix. So there's a chance this motor's going to be burned up. We'll get a look inside it before we're done. Now, let's run that through the system. Get her all emptied out and pull the cord a little bit. And like I said earlier, she feels like she's got compression. And compression would be the first thing to go if they actually got regular gas running in it. Huh. Okay. Job one. Let's look at the fuel lines. I didn't expect that. This thing's been pretty much a pain in the neck. I played with it a little bit. In typical Stihl fashion, fuel lines are really hard to get to. I can see a filter down there. And it's all attached. So, because she kicked a little bit, let's put some decent fuel in her and see what happens. This might just be the Stihl of the week. Got it from a guy named Ron. If this thing starts this easy, then we'll turn and we'll focus on the pull cord, because it's obviously wonky. Okay, let's pump her up, pump her up, pump her up, pump her up. And it's also possible that she's still flooding, because if she were flooding, then us draining the gas out of it would free it up a little bit. It would get all the extra gas out of the way. She's not even choked and she's trying to start. Now you see what I'm seeing. She tried to start with no gas in her. Didn't work with gas in her. So let's pull the plug out and see if she's flooded. It's entirely possible that the spark plug, the fuel system, is just having a gas party in there and it's just dumping extra gas everywhere. That plug is just hard to get to. And the plug is kind of wet and it's gapped really tight. That wouldn't prevent it from running, but it could make it a hard starter. So we're going to use our high-tech plug cleaning tool, sandpaper. First, we'll gap her out just a little bit. There we go. You had a lot of people. It'll give me all sorts of aggravation about gapping a plug that way. But it's worked for me for a long time. Let's have a peek inside this motor while we're at it. Let's see what the cylinder looks like. Okay, let me show you what I'm seeing. So if you watch the screen right here, dive into the piston. And you can see all the black here. That's carbon buildup. That means this thing's been running ridiculously rich. That tells me, you can see here what appears to even be a touch of rust. That would be from the ethanol fuel sitting in the cylinder. But I'm not seeing it on the walls, I'm only seeing it on the piston deck itself. So, yeah, it looks like it's savable. What we're going to have to do here is rebuild the carburetor and get back to it. Let's pull the carb off. I guess right about here on this one. This one's pretty little. Nope, I don't think we're deep enough to reach it. Okay, that should work. Oh, I'll do both of you. That's pretty funny. I've got both the nuts in the extension. Okay, buddy. Let's get her out of here. Now we loosened up the gas cap before we start pulling the gas lines off. It's got two gaskets in here. I don't know why she's got two. She certainly didn't call for two. Look at this. And screws missing all over the place. See how the screws are in at all sorts of wonky angles? Somebody's been playing with this and doing a terrible job. You know, when I run across a carburetor like this, invariably, I call it done. This carburetor's junk. Not even going to bother with it. We're going to put a new carburetor on her. So, we'll see you tomorrow with a new carburetor. Good morning again, everybody. Well, turns out I had a carburetor sitting on a shelf that already matched this. I keep a box of straight carburetors around, and when I get something like this, I'll rebuild it and give it a shot later. Now, this one's got some broken pieces to it and all that, so it's not going to get a shot later, but this one is. So let's get her on and see what we've got. Okay, let's put a new gasket on her. Everything looks pretty good. Now this can be a little tricky. I try to get this done before I get the carburetor all the way on. It's just easier. There you go. Get the cable in this little slot. And now, let me lower you down a little bit so you can see it. So if you look down here, see the little hole right here? I think you can see that. There's a little knob right here that slides right into that. Oh, our cable jumped off. You get back on there. Okay, let's do that. I'll try to ease her all in at the same time. Let's get a little bit more light. I know it won't help what you can see, but it sure helps what I can see. And it jumped off again. But that's okay. Get in there. And it's in there. And now, since it's in place, we have to accelerate it to get the cable on. And it's not in place anymore. So there you go. These can be a little bit fiddly. And there you go. Everything just sort of fell into place that time. Very nice. Everything looks promising. Let's get our fuel lines in place. This is one of those rare engines where I don't replace the fuel lines. 90% of the time when I see one, when I get one, the fuel lines are already pre-shot. Okay, how does this go? This goes this way, so this gasket would go on here. See, and I'm holding it in place so that this doesn't hop out of its little pivot point. Hopefully it'll hold still for me for just a second. Okay, everything looks good. And when you do one of these, you're going to have to retune the carburetor. And this is one of the things I do like about the Stihls is they use a plain old flathead screwdriver to tune the carburetors on these. I see I'm using a magnet to get the screw started. As you rotate the magnet, usually the screw will turn with it. Just like that. You see I've got my first couple of turns going. And I'm doing that just because it's really tight in there. It's hard to get a tool in there. And you can see that works like a charm. So where's my screw gun? We'll take our screw gun and tighten her down real quick. Not too tight yet. And you can see it tries to hang on. Snug that one up a little. Snug this one up a little. Snug this one up a little again. Come on, buddy. There you go. Ta-da! Okay, and let's double check one last time on this one. Yep, not too tight, not too loose. Now we've got a brand new air filter we can throw on her. We can find the right angle. There you go. Got the little slot in it, so it's pretty easy to find the right angle. And that's that. Putting a carburetor on one of these is pretty easy. Click. Let's put some fuel in her and see what we've got. I noticed last night I went ahead and put the spark plug back on her just to get it over with. There we go. Easy peasy. Let's turn that off. Okay, the next thing is, does she pump fuel? Come on back up. So now we'll check this. And the fuel bulb is filling up. Now, this carburetor came off of another Stihl 55R, just like this one. So we've got a pretty good chance that this one's ready to go, that she won't need any tuning. But you just don't know. So let's give her a run and see what happens. Okay, now that we've got all the cars out of the way, let's give this guy a run and see what we've got. Power on. Prime, 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 prime. Choke, choke, choke. And hold her wide open. Oh, she almost ran. Maybe a little more choke than that for cold. There she goes. Now this hadn't run in a long time, so taking a little bit to start the first time doesn't bother me any. She sounds pretty good. Sounds like she could probably use a little more fuel on the low end. Let me grab a screwdriver. Okay, the low screw is the one next to the motor. We're going to back it out a little bit. Okay. Now we're adjusting the high end a little bit. We're going to turn the idle down some. Let's see how that sounds. Okay, that sounds a little bit better. Sounds like she's idling about right too. So let's see if she starts. And she starts a whole lot better too. Okay, this one's ready to go. Oh, that one sounded pretty good. And considering that motor probably hasn't run in 2 or 3 years, she came around pretty nicely. Whoever worked on this tried to use a lawnmower primer, and they also tried to basically put it on the carburetor. Well, the carburetor was on the motor. If you do decide to replace your primer bulb, take the time, remove the carburetor, and then do it on the bench. Because you can see that one just came out terrible, and he might not have even realized that the screws weren't in correctly. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.